Good morning, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to News in Motion. We are back at the start of the week. It is Garfield's favorite day. We are back on Monday. It is March 13th, 2023. How many of y'all are feeling the effects of daylight savings time? We may have lost an hour of sleep, but we gained more daylight. So instead of it being dark at 5:30, it will now be the sun will be setting around 8 o'clock. Me personally, I'm a huge fan of that. But as you're coming into the room, let us know where you're tuning in from, whether it's through LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. If you're an audio or podcasting listener, you keep your eyes on that road now as you're heading into the workplace, grabbing the breakfast, dropping the kiddos off at school. With that being said, let's get this news in motion, y'all.
News in motion.
What's up, everyone? What's up? As Isaiah said, it is Monday, y'all. It is Monday, March the 13th, 2023. I am your host, Gail Dudley, and it is definitely time for your News in Motion. I see you, Rosanna. I see you, Marion Jackson. Kenny Stanley's in the house and in the green room as well. I see you, Felicia Williams. Good morning to you. I see you, Shirley Nicholson, Deborah Johnson, Jeffrey Allen James, Robert Holman, and my very own brother, Louis Pryor III. Good morning to all of you. As Isaiah said, the first day of springing forward didn't bother me. Today, I'm like, oh my word, what happened? I think the older we get, the more difficult it is for us to adjust to this time change. It's darker in the morning, but it did give us some definitely some sunlight later on in the day yesterday. I see you, Adrian, coming in from YouTube as well. Y'all, a lot to talk about. But let me know in the chat, what were you doing this weekend? I was chilling. Let me just be honest. I was chilling this weekend after having an amazing week last week. I decided to chill this weekend. So let me know in the chat what you all have been doing. Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. Also, I've been trying to reach back out and I know who you are. I don't think we're connected on Facebook, so I haven't been able to respond to you. But yes, I'm taking care of this. For everyone else who's wondering what's going on, if you have questions, I see you, Kim Edmondson and Sardinia and Dr. Antoinette. Y'all know I have a condition called lithomatoid papulosis. What's up, Latrice Jones? And this spot has only gotten darker and harder, and I've actually been ignoring it. I know that's the worst thing to do, but my doctor friend been reaching out to me. I'm seeing this. It's been like about 4 months. It's getting darker. What are you doing with it? I tried to respond to you, but since everyone's probably asking the same question, I thought I would address it right here on This Morning. Yes, it's getting darker. Yes, I finally decided to do an appointment. Yes, I sent the images and they said, oh, we need to see you in the morning. So I'm going tomorrow morning. I told them I couldn't come today. I just didn't feel like it. I'm going tomorrow morning after the show, and I'm almost sure they're going to be taking it off. So you'll probably see a bandage on Wednesday. No alert, y'all. I pretty much know what it is already, but it's all going to be okay. But I thought I would address it to the doctor friend who has been watching it. I won't name him because he probably can't do what he's done through internet. But thank you so much for caring enough and paying attention and moving me to do something. So yeah, I tried to send your request, but it kept bouncing back. So thank you to the doctor. Let me see. Jacqueline's in here. Deborah Johnson says she attended an amazing writers conference. Yes, she did. I can't wait to hear about it. We're going to do breakfast or something so I can get more information. Felicia says she finally saw Avatar, long but a good movie. Okay. Who else? Good morning to all of our podcasts and audio listeners. As Isaiah said, keep your eyes on the road or pay attention while you're at work. I hear some of you put on earbuds when you're in meetings and you're listening to News in Motion. Now, y'all can't be laughing in the meeting. They're going to be wondering, what are you doing? So make sure you keep those earbuds covered up as you are tuning in. And I think y'all are doing some creative things. I hear there's some students that are doing the same thing, putting their earbuds in, going to class. So, hey, we appreciate it, but make sure you're paying attention in class as well. Rosanna said, that the Second Baptist Church in Columbus, Ohio, is now Reverend Floria Washington. So she attended her ordination services on yesterday. Yes, shout out to Reverend Dr. Floria Washington. Marion says she relaxed this weekend. What's up, Davy? Yeah, there she go, y'all. That's her tagline. Good morning, good people. That's her word. I'm telling her she needs to get the merch and stuff going. Dr. Antoinette says she rested. So yeah, y'all, I had a good weekend. I had a great last week. It was amazing. I'm kind of like on fire this week to roll out some of the things that I worked through last week. All right, y'all, transparent moment, as I'm sure all of you watched on yesterday evening, if you did. Um, I was extremely disappointed that Angela Bassett did not win the Oscar. I mean, I was real disappointed. I had to find the strength to continue to watch. And the only reason why I continued to watch was because I wanted to see Rihanna. I was like, I can get the rest of this stuff through the news alerts in the morning. But that's I was just disappointed. I have some thoughts, but I'm gonna hold my thoughts until another time. But I'm also extremely thankful for Jimmy Kimmel, who did a great job leading yesterday. And he acknowledged Teal and the Woman King and talked about how they were their true stories, and how they should have had more press and been out in the forefront. So I appreciate him putting that out there. The way he was weaving in and out with the whole slap and the security, and just, I mean, he was going all the way in. The way he went after Tucker Carlson without ever mentioning him, he's just masterful at what it is that he's doing. Now, I'm gonna also say this without being negative, and I know she will never ever hear this because she probably don't even know who Gail Dudley is. But there were two. There was one in particular, the pre-Oscars, where one of the actors, and I can't remember his name, said, "Oh, I'm just excited to hear Rihanna sing." And she responded, "Oh, Rihanna's here, but she's not singing." I'm like, "You need to read your notes. You should know that already." And so I started thinking, and Davey, I actually thought about you. So interesting that you're on here. I started thinking, maybe we need to start navigating, getting in on that platform to report from the Oscar red carpet, because you have to study. So if this is ever your lane, you have to study. You have to check. You have to vet. You were out there on a national stage and you did not know Rihanna was singing. There's something wrong with that. We have to put it out there. So y'all, anything that you're doing, I don't care if you're a virtual assistant, if you're an author, if you're an artist, if you're a secretary, if you're a CPA, whatever it is, you have to study your craft. You have to invest that time. You cannot go on a platform and not have any idea what you're. Now, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But she said that with so much power. Oh no, she won't be singing. I was like, what? What? Did you not read the cue cards? Come on, y'all. Even I, here it is right here. Even I got the press release, and it says that she's singing. If you are on that red carpet, you got the same thing. So y'all, do your homework. Whatever it is you want to do your homework, which means you have to give up more of your time. Latrice Jones says last night was more argument for us having our own awards. Yes. So now you're gonna make me go there, Latrice. And I was trying to be nice because I didn't have my wording right. So I'm gonna try to tiptoe on this in a way. I love the fact that Black and brown people are being recognized, and they're getting these positions that we've been fighting for and praying for to get them. The challenge is that I'm starting to see, this is my opinion, the challenge is that the more we are promoting, which they have the utmost respect to be, I love it that my Asian people were getting awarded and recognized. I loved it that my Indian friends and family were getting out there, Native Americans getting out there doing what they do. I love it that the trans people and Muslims and everyone has a voice in a forefront. I absolutely love it. I also sit back and say, there's another reason to keep pushing us aside. And how do we stand on that same platform? Again, I want to work on this to bring some information and find some people in this background to bring some information to us. But I'm just looking at that saying, what do we need to do? What else can we do? But shout out to Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Mayers, who walked on stage and said, "Hey, Auntie, we love you." And y'all also, I was talking about this last week. That's code language. It's like we saw what happened. We got you. We just want you to know we still love you. And that's how we have to support. And I love when Michael B. Jordan went, he sure did. They said what they said. They said a lot in that small statement, because it really wasn't small at all. Maybe a few words, but there was a lot that was being said there. Kenny Stanley says she was announced as a performer weeks before the show. um Dr. Internet said my sister girl's son is Rihanna's drummer, so he was at the Oscars. Yay! Shirley Nicholson, okay, I see some of these. Jeffrey Allen James says it was for first time winners. Bad thing is that Susan Lucci was not alive, she would not have gotten hers too. Yeah, there's a lot that goes on there. And then as we're going into Women's History Month section of today, I want to shout out Ruth Carter, Best Costume Design, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. She made history last night. The costume designer behind the Black Panther film became the first Black woman to win 2 Oscars. Carter took home Best Costume Design last night at the 95th Academy Awards for Marvel sequel Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. She also won 2018 for Black Panther, which made her the first African American to win in that category. In her acceptance speech, she thanked the film directors Ryan Coogler and asked if Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman could look after her mother, who passed away. It seemed like it was this past week. Um, she then raises her Oscar and says, "This is for my mother. She was 101. This film prepared me for this moment." And then again, she says to Chadwick, "Please take care of my mom." In her career, Ruth Carter has been behind the scenes in some of Hollywood's biggest films. She received Oscars nominations for her work in Spike Lee, Malcolm X, and Steven Spielberg, Amistad, and received praise for her period ensembles and other projects, such as Lee Daniels' The Butler. She's also Lee Daniels didn't do Selma. The director of Selma, she did that as well in a reboot of Roots. She created costumes for Oprah Winfrey, Denzel Washington, Eddie Murphy, and Jerry Steinfeld for the Steinfeld pilot. Ruth Carter played an influential role as lead costume designer in making Black Panther a cultural phenomenon, as she infused the pride of African clothing into her character stylish and colorful garments that help bring Wakanda to life. She wanted to transform the presence of Queen Ramonda, played by Oscar nominee Angela Bassett, as the queen in the first film, to being the ruler in the sequel. Just shout out to you, Ruth Carter. Congratulations to you and for winning 2 Oscars. Also, when I was reading this and looking up information on her, what came to me is like, Black woman, let's get out of this black. I'm bad with it. I'm always wearing these dark colors. And so I said, let me start bringing some bright colors out here to support our African culture, our Blackness, and what it is that we do. So you just gave me just a new perspective on myself and my dress. Now, if I can just get the budget from my husband to do that, that'll be all great. Now, I don't want to leave out this movie. Now, I watched this particular movie. I had to watch it in 2 parts. It was a very sad movie, but it was a movie that touched me, and I just was like, oh my word. And I'm surprised they did not win Best Film. And that is All Quiet on the Western Front. Y'all, if you have not seen that movie, that is a phenomenal movie. But be prepared. I literally had to go, okay, it's enough of this. And I had to come back the next day. But it was so powerful. Um, and it's based on true story. So y'all need to check that out as well. Let me see what some of you are saying. Um, yes, Hampton alum. Ruth Carter is a Hampton alum. Um, Kim Edmondson saying congratulations. Latrice Jones said, I'm color for orange. There it is. And yes, Kim Edmondson, Ruth did look beautiful. All right, y'all, before I get into the news, and we have a lot of news, so don't go anywhere. Keep putting your information in the chat. But I understand this is March Madness week. So we have Game Over with Kenny Stanley. Hey, Kenny, what's up?
What's happening?
How you?
I'm good. Sleepy, but I'm good.
Listen, that time change. I'm like, whoo, this one hit me kind of crazy this time.
I'm good. I'm good.
You know,
How y'all
yesterday,
doing?
like I said in the green room yesterday, I was great. This morning, I'm like, whoa.
I'm hurting.
It hits you. Look, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
go to bed early next time we do this change.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
Listen to you. Well, go ahead and tell us about Game Over and this March Madness, because I know you got nothing but fire behind that.
Yeah. Hey, News and Motion family, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Game Over with me, Kenny Stanley. Hey, it's the big dance, aka this NCAA tournament starts on March on tomorrow with the first four. The teams who are playing to get into the last four spots for the NCAA crown tournament. They want to be crown champion. The four games starts tomorrow on True TV. It starts at 6:40. The first game in the South is going to be Texas A&M Corpus Christi. I don't know who that is, but Texas A&M Corpus Christi will play against Southwest Missouri State. That's at 6:40. Then at 9:10, you got Mississippi. They will play Pitt. And on Wednesday at 6:40, in the East, there's Texas Southern versus Fair Dickerson. I don't know where that is either, but good luck. And then on at 9:10 in the West, you got Arizona State. They will play Nevada. That looks to be a good game because both teams normally are pretty good, but they just in the playing this year. On the men's side, the number one seeds went to Alabama, Houston overall number one, Purdue, and Kansas. That's 68 teams trying to be crowned the national champions on April 3rd, 2023. You have until 12 noon to get your picks in. So let's see what's going to happen. I see Shirley McCrell Nicholson saying roll tide. So, hey, Tide fans, get your stuff in. On the women's side of the court, first four starts on March 15th, which is Thursday. That's going to start with Illinois playing against Mississippi State. And then you got Tennessee Tech playing against Monmouth. And then on the 16th, you got Purdue. They play against St. John's. And then Southern University play against Sacred Heart. The number one seeds went to South Carolina. They're the overall number one. Indiana, Stanford, which I was shocked. I thought Iowa would get it, but Stanford got the number one, and Virginia Tech. These 68 teams, they be wanting to get crowned on April 2nd of 2023. And you got to have your brackets done by 11:30 Eastern Standard Time on Friday. So we're gonna have to see. And also on the men's side, Dominique Dudley, I want to give you a shout out with your Ohio University Bisons. They punched their ticket for the first time since 1992. They will be in the big dance come this weekend. So go ahead, Ohio University. There were some good games yesterday in the NBA, and it's getting hotter and hotter. Brooklyn Nets beat Denver Nuggets 122-120. The Cleveland Cavaliers over the Charlotte Hornets 114-108. My 76ers, they beat Washington 112-93. The New Orleans ran Portland out the gym 127-110. OKC over the Spurs 102-90. And the Knicks beat the Lakers 112-108, pushing the Lakers into a four-way tie for that ninth seed in the play-in. So we got to see what's going to happen. And real quick in the NFL, it looked like Chicago is really starting to buy into Justin Fields, former Ohio State Buckeye quarterback, now the Bears quarterback. It looked like they're starting to buy into Justin Fields. and they traded their overall number one pick to the Carolina Panthers, and the Bears got a slew of stuff coming to them. The Bears got the Panthers number one and number first round pick and their second round pick this year. That's number 9 and number 61. They got a first rounder for 2024. They got a second rounder in 2025. Plus, they picked up the Panthers' number one receiver from last year and the years before, DJ Moore. It looked like they're starting to buy into Justin Fields. Let's see what they do. Get some linemen to protect this man so he don't have to quit, so he can quit running for his life. Hey, and then you got you a great team. You'll have you a great team. Hey, that's sports. Back to Gail for more news here on News in Motion. See y'all on Thursday.
Listen, before you run, I got a question. I always hear about these brackets. I know nothing about any of these things. You made a statement that you have until today to finish them.
You
Why
got
is
till
that?
you got till Thursday to finish for the men, and you got till Friday for the women, because the men tip off Thursday. The real bracket tips off Thursday at 12 noon. So if you're in a bracket anywhere, you got to have it in by 11:59 Eastern Standard Time, because at 12 noon everything is locked out. And on the
All
women's
right, now
side, you got to
forgive my ignorance. Is this for money?
some people do for money.
Okay.
I've been
All
in one
right.
where I just missed $500 by 1 point. Both of us had the same two teams playing for the national championship, and he beat me by 1 point.
All right. Well, I learn something every day. I learn something. Thank you so much, Kenny. We'll see you back here on Thursday.
I see y'all Thursday. Have a good one, everybody.
You too. All right, y'all. In the news, and some of you have. I got a couple of text messages, so I will touch on this real quick. They said I went through that really fast, so let me slow down. As many of you know, I have a condition called lymphomatoid papulosis. It is a form of a skin cancer, but it is benign. This spot on my head that many of you have pointed out over the past couple of months, and then a doctor friend of mine who has been on the show before has like, hey, what's going on there? Have you checked that out? I do know it's there. I kind of know what it is, and I've been ignoring it. So on tomorrow when I go, they will then what they call scale it. So I'll probably have a bandage on Wednesday. Don't let it mess you up. Then they will go and check and see what it is exactly. So that's what's happening. It's getting darker, it's harder. At first it didn't hurt. Now it's starting to irritate a little bit. So we're just going to see what it is, but I'm really not worried about it. Okay. I've blown it off. I've put it out the back of my mind. All of a sudden I knew I needed to deal with it and take care of it. But I've had this condition since 2013. I learned of it. So it's been ongoing, but this is the first time it's done this particular thing. So we don't know what it is. We have an idea what it is. But again, I'm not worried. So thank you all for your concern. You're saying I went through it real quick. You wanted to know what it was. For those of you who are the first time hearing that, I don't even know how to spell it. I just learned how to really say it a few years ago. It's called lymphomatoid papulosis. So now that's out there, but don't y'all worry. This was my platform because I could not get to that doctor. So I needed to be able to let him know thank you and that I do see it. All right, y'all, in the news. Now you're going to say something. The Washington Post, CNN, PBS NewsHour, AP, Politico, and others are talking about former Vice President Mike Pence on Saturday, y'all. He harshly criticized the former guy for his role in the January 6th insurrection, riot, whatever you want to call it, at the U.S. Capitol, widening the rift between the two of them. That's what many people are saying. And they believe that that was his beginning stance of having a battle with him for the Republican nomination in next year's elections. Now, he says, and I quote, and this is a quote, President Trump was wrong. He needed to say former President Trump was wrong. Pence said this during remarks at the annual White Tie Gridiron dinner attended by politicians and journalists. He goes on to say in a quote, I had no right to overturn the election. And his reckless words endangered my family and everyone at the Capitol that day. And I know history will hold Donald Trump accountable. How long did it take you to say something? And then we also have his attorney, the former guy's attorney, who came out and said, yeah, we lied. Now you saying something. I'm glad all of y'all waking up deciding to say something, but you're a little too late. You're a little too late. We also have the grand jury, AP's reporting, CNN and others, that the former guy's former lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen, is scheduled to testify today before the Manhattan grand jury investigating hush money payments made on the former president's behalf. Two people familiar with the matter told the Associated Press they were not authorized to speak publicly about the grand jury's proceedings and did so on the condition of autonomy. It shouldn't be autonomy. That word is wrong. Anyway, Cohen is a key witness in Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's investigation, and his testimony is coming at a critical time as prosecutors close in on the decision on whether to seek charges against the former guy. Is that Diane Ladybug? What's up? Good morning to you. Prosecutors sometimes save their most important witnesses until the end of the stages of a grand jury investigation. So will they or won't they indict this dude? Anyway, I find it interesting. See, Dr. Antoinette said, whatever, how many months did it take to pretend being mad, not buying it? I'm with you. It's all about a run for an office. That's all it is. But now what's interesting, now, Dr. Antoinette, you got me going somewhere else. What's interesting is the fact that a lot of Republicans, GOP members are coming out saying they're over MAGA. They want a centrist that is leaning more moderate to bring the parties together. I'm like, oh, now we talking. So it's interesting. People are like, they're over the shenanigans. Now that people are coming out saying, I lied, it was a lie. We said these things, we spun these things. We have his old press secretary, Stephanie, who's saying that she was pressured to always favor Fox News and talk to them. And when she wouldn't put them through to the president, she would get a talking to. I mean, a lot of stuff is starting to come out. People are over it. Look at Lauren Boebert, that's how you say it, who is saying now that she only won by 564 votes. They don't want to chance it going into the 2024 election. A lot is happening. So the analysis and the strategists are starting to come out. I'm following it as well. You see, did y'all see how I got jumped up to that? I love this type of conversation and going through the research to see what's happening. They're in trouble. Come on, they barely, they have a slim majority in the House. They don't want to risk it. It took 15 votes to get a speaker in who could be sat down at a snap of a finger. They're not interested in doing any of that. So they're starting to pull back and reevaluate to see what's happening. And the time is now, especially with everything's happening with all these banks, which I'm going to get to that in a few moments as well. So now, y'all, they're worried about the wrong thing. And Washington Post reports that key players at Fox News are saying about the networks and its viewers. Email, text messages, and depositions released last week as a part of the $1.6 billion lawsuit against Fox News give the public a rare look at the inner workings of the conservative cable news net giant. Many executives and on-air personalities, get this, y'all, they are worried that viewers will flip to other channels if Fox journalists contradicts anything the former guy says on air. So they don't know what to do. They're tiptoeing around, but they're telling their Fox air personalities, it's time for y'all to speak the truth, share the truth. We've been sued. We getting ready to lose this. So we need y'all to come out and speak truth. But what's going on now, y'all watch, y'all, I believe this with everything in me. He got something on all them people, and we about to see everything that's about to come out, y'all. And I think the time is now. Then we flip over to Florida, y'all. Florida, bills, and more bills. The Florida GOP introduces 3 new bills to expand Ron DeSantis's "Don't Say Gay" policies. Y'all, Truth Out is reporting, along with others, a law signed by Governor Ron DeSantis last year, commonly known as the "Don't Say Gay" law in the state, puts some serious restrictions on what teachers and other school employees can discuss with students regarding those topics. No teacher of students in grade K through 3, for example, can discuss any type of issues relating to gender or sexuality. For all other grades, the law requires teachers to follow a vague age-appropriate standard for discussing such issues. Well, now they got three new bills. House Bill 1223, which institute many additional measures to the current Don't Say Gay law. It would extend on the discussion and topics relating to sexuality, gender from a third grade to eighth grade, keeping in place the vague age appropriation. Now, the bill also gives cisgender students allowances to call their trans peer by the wrong name or pronouns without persecution from the school, giving these students license to bully without consequence. Y'all, this is a real bill. Okay. And I read it. It's crazy, y'all. Teachers will also be barred from asking students what their pronouns are and would be prohibited from telling students their own pronouns. Then we got House Bill 1069, which also redefines sex as being determined by a person's reproduction function at birth and adds that reproduction roles are binary, stable, and unchangeable. Then we have Senate Bill 1320, three bills that are on the floor this week that prohibits teachers or other school employees from sharing their pronouns or asking students about theirs, as well as barring the teachers of sexual or gender identity in grades K through 8. Y'all, I would encourage you to read these bills. You may hear me on the surface and say, oh, Gail, that's okay. No, it's not okay. Number one, that's my opinion, where I stand. Number two, it also creates bullying for these students who are already under pressure. It also puts the teachers, the librarians, and other people, principals, staff, janitors, whomever, in a very difficult position. I don't know what's happening here, but y'all, these three new bills on top of they still talking about getting rid of the Democratic Party. This stuff is happening. It's happening. On top of all of this, y'all, we got banks closing out the wazoo. We have Silicon Valley banks did a collapse. This was the largest failure since 2008. And on yesterday, if y'all missed it, Signature Bank in New York also closed. New York Times reports and others, the Federal Reserve, Treasury, and Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation announced in a joint statement that depositors will have access to their money starting today. No losses associated with the resolution of Silicon Valley Bank will be borne by taxpayers. What's the bill numbers again? Let me give them to you. We got 1223, that's House Bill 1223, House Bill 1069, and Senate Bill 1320. Hopefully y'all grab those. Thanks for asking that again, Latrice. So y'all, USA Today has, they're calling Silicon Valley not only a collapse caused by shockwaves around the world, but they're also looking at the winemakers in California and the startups across the Atlantic Ocean and all of these investors and the money. But what people miss was 2 weeks ago when the CEO took out 3.6 million of the company stock under a trading plan before the bank disclosed its losses. Man, they looking for you. Anyway, there's a lot that's going on here, y'all. We're talking 21 billion in security, 1.8 billion in loss, and they're seeking to raise 2.25 billion in capital. It's a mess. But who's controlling this, y'all? That 1%. See, we cannot, y'all, these are not disconnected, okay? The reason, let's go back to what I said a few moments ago. Y'all know I'm all in today. I'm all in today. Let's go back to what I said a few moments ago. And that is, you have Republicans coming out saying, we done with mega. We got to get that mega, whatever you want to call it. We got to get that out the way. We don't want to roll that way anymore. We need to find a centrist who can also be a moderate. Y'all, they haven't been talking like that in a long time. Well, because they're money. Y'all, this is a connection. It's not a disconnect here, y'all. Well, now you got banks closing. Y'all was trying to be hush-hush about Signature Bank in New York. Well, no, now that's done come out. We got Silicon Valley. We have all these investors. We have people who said, oh, 2 weeks before, let me do some trading here with $3.6 million of the company trading stock. And then you're looking 21 billion, 1.8 billion. These are all with a B. 2.25 billion. Y'all, it's no disconnect that they're like, we need to get a centrist in here. We need to find somebody who's stable in the middle, and we need to start talk about moderates. Y'all, it's not a disconnect. Come on, y'all know that already, right? Y'all know I'm talking right this morning, right? If you study the politics, the mapping, and which direction things are going, you get your answer. Yes, that's right, Kim Edmondson. Connect these dots. Y'all, then on top of that, oh man, it's like you sit back and say, is this really happening today? When you talk about that, we have now three other mothers in Texas talking about suing, and they're saying, I'm a Republican and I'm suing because this ain't okay. Y'all, something is happening. Don't tell me that the prayers of the righteous don't availeth much. Listen, the prayers of the righteous availeth much. We can't stop praying now, because the way we're praying, y'all, things are happening, things are collapsing, things are being exposed in this season. Yeah, they're standing up. No, we're not doing this anymore. See, the other thing, let's go back to book banning for a moment. None of this is in my notes. I don't even know what time it is. We're running out of time, but y'all gonna be okay. Listen, the book banning, y'all think about this for a moment. Ron DeSantis and his posse, the Senate, the state senators in Florida, they're banning books. Now they started banning books before talking about getting rid of a party. Well, if they ban the books in schools and in libraries, then people won't get the history of what's really happening. So they got to get rid of the evidence before they can start saying, okay, we're going to get rid of parties. Y'all better follow these dots. Y'all better follow these dots and see what's really happening, because they're trying to ban something so you have no information about it. And you think that what they're putting out there is the truth. Well, no, it's a spin. It's a spin there. Let me see. Davey is saying the banking issue is the former guy's air residue. They removed regulations, and here we go. Not only did he remove regulations there, let's also go here, Davey. All these trains that's popping off the track, he removed those regulations as well. Think about the do not call. You know how we were doing good. We didn't have people randomly calling us. He removed those regulations as well. There's so many regulations he removed that now things are just starting to collapse every which way you can turn. I don't want to speak conspiracy, but with all these trains coming off the track and the Infrastructure Act, you can't tell me those aren't disconnected. Something is happening in the atmosphere. And all I can say to y'all is pay attention. Pay attention, pay attention. Blavity reports, y'all, the 25 employees walked out after Pennsylvania restaurant owner names drinks the Negro and the Caucasian. Say what? Are we really doing this in 2023? Y'all, dozens of employees walked out from a bar and restaurant establishment in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania after the owner created a menu that featured drinks named after Caucasian and Negro. Yeah. It's called Mela Kitchen at Jack Hard Cider. Decided to serve these cocktails. Then they now in trouble. Black Twitter went after them, and all of a sudden they issue a statement. Their statement says, I have come to realize how we have fallen short on addressing the sensitive issues towards others, both inside the company and in how we present ourselves to the community. I take full responsibility for the shortcomings, and I apologize to the current and former employees who have experienced harm while working at Mela Kitchen. I will be ordering additional sensitivity training for myself, and I promise to develop culture and understanding, empathy, and tolerance to ensure that our staff feel safe and empowered. Get over yourself. You got caught. It was a cute write-up, but whatever. All right, y'all, we got other news. We're not going to get there today. We are not going to get there today. But listen, this is what I want to say, y'all. You know, we're talking voting. The vote mug reminds us to vote. We're talking voting, but more importantly, we're talking about really paying attention to what's not being said, Here on News in Motion, we make sure you get the whole package. But for many of you, you watch other news 24/7 or whenever you are available, because we only come on at 7:25 a.m. Eastern time. But listen, pay attention to what they're not saying. Pay attention to how they're saying it. And hear me, please go do your own research. Check it out for yourself. So, the inspirational message today is this: do you, boo. You got to do you. You got to stop following the footsteps of what everyone else is doing and talking about. Listen here, do you, boo. You have to make a decision. Okay, what steps am I going to take? How am I going to get there? How do I research this? How is this a direct connection to my current community? What's happening at the school level? What's happening at the township level? What's happening in the state? How are all these dots connecting? Who are the people that are saying they're running for office? Why are they running for office now? What experience do they have? Should I put my money behind them? How do I start registering people to vote? Listen, you got to do what works for you, boo. Time out for just following people. You know what? Joe Biden, in my opinion, is doing pretty good, and maybe it's just because I was so tied up for 4 years, worried about my black and brown brothers getting to and from places, and I was worried that they was going to get pulled off to the side of the road, get in trouble, get shot, killed, murdered, and I was so worried about that. I was so worried about how people were popping off and tripping out that maybe I'm just chill over this time. But when I look at and see what's happening, and you all will be getting, if you registered for the free e-newsletter, it comes out at 9:15. There's 2 editions now. There's a morning edition and an evening edition that pops off today. I listened to y'all, I heard you. So there's now 2 newsletters. They're not the same thing. What you see this morning is not going to be what you see this evening. So you're going to have to read both of them. But I put all the information in there for you to have an understanding. I went after the president and his executive order in this morning's talking about prescription drugs. No way, dude. You can't sign this executive order and people are paying $1 million. Oh, yeah. When y'all see that e-newsletter, and I researched it, and it's the truth. $1 million for a prescription for a treatment? Dude, you got to do better than that. You got to do way better than that. So I'm going after him too. I'm not friends with anybody right now. I'm friends, not in the political arena. I'm friends with the community. I'm making sure you get what you need. That's who we are. Something happened to me last week, y'all. I don't know what it was, but I believe Jesus said it's time for you to make this shift. If I can use Davia's word, make this pivot. I'm about to expose all kinds of stuff. I tell my husband I might need to get some security or something because I'm coming forward. Time out for being quiet. I got to do me. And the way I do it is not going to be the way you do it. But I'm going to bring you news. I'm going to bring you relevant commentary. I'm going to bring you a call to action. The call to action today, as I outlined in the e-newsletter, is this. Call your representatives and say, okay, can you tell me why Ozempic, and I love the way Jimmy Kimmel went after Ozempic. He said, looking around the room, all of y'all taking Ozempic. Why it's available for people for weight loss just to be cute? And why aren't the prices coming down for people who actually need it to lower their diabetes? Well, let's talk about this. We need to go to our representative and ask these questions. Let's talk about cancer medication. I had a text conversation with Mary Jenkins, the founder. I'm going to say it all wrong. The original name was Christians Overcoming Cancer. Now it's a whole cancer organization. And she was talking about the medication for cancer patients. And this is after the insurance portion. How are they even able to make treatments? And see, y'all, we don't even think. We're always thinking, I don't want to give them any money because I don't know what they do. Well, they need the money. They need the money to pay for their prescriptions or to stay in their homes or to keep their lights on or their heat on or keep food in the refrigerators. We talk about food as medicine. Yeah, I'm on a rampage today. And if you got to go, I understand. You just go, come back later and get the replay. But we talk about food as medicine. Well, we have 33 million people who are food insecure right here in America. In Ohio, 400,000 children are hungry in Ohio. In the state of Ohio, children, 400,000. And they can't even get medicine. They can't even get the food to help become food as medicine because they can't afford it. This system is not working it's working for who it's supposed to work for, but it's not working for those of us who actually need it. Y'all, we need to start standing up, going back to those town hall meetings. We can't wait until 2024 to have these conversations. These conversations need to happen now. They need to happen today. All right, y'all, be you. Y'all, I'm out of here. Y'all know this is Gail Dudley. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone. And remember, make some bold moves. I'm out.